can Saint-Citoyen.
No, you said chalet.
Oh yeah, chalet, but Saint-Citoyen. You know, I like the chalet. Ben, is
Yeah. The same company.
You want to go to that?
I love it.
No room. No room.
I need him to explain what pancakes here are.
And then you it's coffee.
I'm Adra.
Monday morning.
Adra, yeah. Adra. Exactly.
Enjoy.
My favorite one. Merci beaucoup.
Que nous gêne parce que nous là pour santé. Et
Do it again for the video.
curated content. Ali.
Wait.
Everyone.
Go.
Okay, ready?
Oh.
Okay.
2, 3.
Les bons. C'est ça.
Is
Mhm.
it good?
Yes.
I told you. I got something nice for you.
You don't lie. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow, that was good.
I'm hoping. Because it's hilarious. I literally killing my insides.
Hey, Wabano, Yanka.
Okay, moi j'aime.
You want to split?
Yes.
Okay. You want the rice first?
Yes, mom.
Is that a yes, mom?
I'm definitely going to the spiritual. Oh, let deal. Yeah,
Right? Sam.
Yes.
It's good.
Did?
Vamos mudar.
Say, I get the pa.
That's very well.
Spicy. Not spicy.
I like doing it on the side.
Hey. Stand up.
Wow. Libelle. Thank you, Shay. Wow. Chabel.
Yeah, have the rest.
Gade.
There we go. Yeah. I was trying to do it.
Gele li pa vle encore.
Oh, well. So, we'll get them. All of it. You can, yeah.
We can share. Don't worry. We can eat together. No worries.
Come. To live in the freedom.
Assassinated president of Burkina Faso.
Well, I don't know who Julius is, but
We must learn to live the African way. It's the only way to
the
live
president of
in
Tanzania.
freedom
Yeah, you know
and
your African history. You know,
I bet
you are
know
going.
American
You are
history.
going with the next flight.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay.
Then people can make it from South Africa.
He was the president?
No.
Who was he?
Nelson Mandela before this man. You know, South Africa, they never throw the whites away. So
Oh, be careful, the baby.
then you come with our own president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Yes, she. Yes.
Then that one,
Are you reading?
the most serious radical president, Patrice Lumumba from Congo.
Okay.
Belgium invade Congo. Diamonds.
Oh yeah. That was in the
If you see this picture, how this man was captured, they put it. That's the bad. He will slap you left and right. Do the right.
That's the one if you whispering.
Yes. You thought I do.
I need to find a video of him doing it.
Yeah, he will tell you do the right thing.
Yes.
Do the right thing. Oh, I'll discipline you.
I need to find a video of him slapping.
God, yeah.
Yes. It's good. Yes.
It's a military man.
It's good to see. So I can show people, be like, this is why. This is why. And that's Marcus Garvey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
1 hour.
Dinumem Napali. $1957, y'all, not that long ago.
Without local labor. So it took the British and the locals over 100 years of rebuilding, demolition, and addition before they came out with something like this. And today this structure is over 30 years now. Historically, this is the last castle the Europeans constructed along the coast of Ghana. We have two other castles. We have Elmina was built by Portugal around 1482. That one is almost 200 years older than Cape Coast Castle. I'm saying
The church
not a coincidence
was built
because
over the dungeon.
this is Elmina Castle also. The Dutch Reformed Church was right above the female dungeons. So we researched and we realized that the church played a vital role in the enslavement of our people. It was actually the church that invented the transatlantic slave trade. They came out with Southern propaganda supporting the slave trade, using the Bible to justify that propaganda. One of it was they mentioned that the what do you call it? The Catholic Church mentioned that they have studied the Bible so well, and they are fully convinced that Africans are people without souls. And if you have no soul to be saved, you are a non-entity. The other propaganda they came out with, this was with the Dutch Reformed Church and the Anglican Church. You know, they supported what the Catholic Church came out with. They also mentioned that Africans are descendant of certain characters in the Bible. The characters are Shem, Ham, and Cain. You know, in the Bible, these characters have one thing in common: they were all cursed. You know, Cain killed Abel. Ham saw the father's nakedness. Noah, when he got drunk, made a mockery, and Noah cursed him. That's what their Bible is saying. So now the churches and the Europeans are saying that since Africans are descendant of those characters, then the black man was bound to be the white man's slave. But you know, this was a way of the church exhibiting ignorance, selfishness, and greed, because they enticed people to do evil.
Nous gagnons les miens. Baka ouais. Bakawe. Name Bakawe. Bon. Oh, ok, papa.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's rather unfortunate we have a little electrical issue facing tomorrow. But in actual sense, this is how the dungeon looked like. There was no electricity in the dungeons. The captives in here could only see to light when the guards came in with lamps, fire flames, or something. So this was the exact condition we had to endure for 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months before the ships arrived. The holes you see there was the only source of light and air they had. And again, that was the only way they could determine day and night. Also, this is the male dungeons. The male dungeons comprises of rooms. We have 5 of them. We are in the first room. So very soon we'll go back. We have 4 extra rooms behind. A room contained over 100 to 200 people. So about 200 men were squeezed in here. We have 4 other rooms behind you. The same number of people were squeezed. So in total, when the male dungeons was filled up to capacity, it could hold about 1,000 people. They lived here for 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months before the ships arrived. They had to go to toilets in the dungeons. They had to urinate. You had to sleep. So you virtually did everything in here. You slept on no mattress. You slept on nothing. The gutters on the floor were provided for toilet and urine to go through to the city. Ask yourself this question: how many times can toilet and urine run out? If about 100 to 200 men were here, and if such conditions existed here for more than 100 years. So ladies and gentlemen, if that is a point, the toilet, the urine, the vomit, the blood, everything they left got mixed up, got compacted. It covered the entire floor up to this height. So ladies and gentlemen, up to this height, the whole place was filled up with the things they left. 1974, we excavated the place and we found the original floor with these gutters. We left you this portion to see. The middle. So what we have here is actually, we just left this portion for you to see how it is. So the whole space was just like this. We excavated and left it. So this contains toilet, urine, vomit, blood, everything they left. We have some of it here. And also it is estimated that before the ships arrived, out of every 4, 1 of them will die before the ships will come. They had water and food once or twice a day, but the food and water was nothing to write home about, something to sustain them for a while till.
So basically half of us in this room would have been dead.
Yes, almost getting to a half. Because on the ships it was a half. 20% of them died in the dungeons, 50% of them died on the ship. So out of 100%, only 30% of our ancestors survived the journey across the Atlantic to the Caribbean, the West Indies, North and South America. Okay, let me lead you. Let's have a look at the evidence. Behind me, you find or you see this wall. Now, ladies and gentlemen, right behind the wall, the British built a tunnel or a passage. So, apart from the entrance we used in, the British created another exit out of this dungeon to where the ships were docked. So that end was opened up. It wasn't walled, it was opened up. So in chains and in shackles, all the men were forced through the tunnel to the door of no return. But unfortunately today, we cannot go through the tunnel. The tunnel is closed. Symbolically, the British closed the tunnel to mark the end of the slave trade, not slavery. So though we cannot go through the tunnel, when we go up again, I'm going to show you some part of the tunnel and the exit. You also find this altar. Today, this room, we call it a shrine. This basically talks about the type of spirituality or religion we practiced in Africa before Christianity and Islam was introduced. So this is to tell us that we always believed in the existence of God or Supreme Being. It wasn't the European or it wasn't the Arab who introduced us to God. We mention the name of God in our own languages here. Before the Europeans came and stole our brothers and sisters across the Atlantic, where everything about ourselves as Africans was distorted. It is also here to tell us that before the Europeans occupied this land was a sacred ground for the local people, because we had the knowledge that God is nature. So wherever you can touch, see, or feel nature, God is present. Just communicate, God is going to hear you out. So before the Europeans occupied this land, this land was a sacred ground for the local people. This structure was built on a bedrock. That bedrock was an oracle by name Nanatabi. When the Europeans came, the people of Cape Coast were forced out. They carried the shrine away from here. In the 70s, this altar was erected. The sacred stones was returned. So today, whatever needs to be done here in accordance to this spirituality, let us stand. That is the importance of the altar today. That room is still part of the male dungeons. People were held there. Behind you, there are wreaths. We have them also in memory of the victims of the transatlantic slave trade. We would like to remember our ancestors who endured so much. Any questions or comments, ladies and gentlemen, before we continue?
This is a cell. We're gonna go learn about, for the people who revolted, not wanting to be a slave, wanting to be free, not wanting to be in this quote-unquote castle that's really a dungeon. This is where they went to basically die. This is where colonizers went to kill them for revolting and trying to have other people revolt as well.
Alright, so this is the inner chamber. So this is the inner chamber, ladies and gentlemen. If you take a good look at this room, there's no ventilation hole. And there was no light. There were doors all over. So the first door was locked up. There was another door right here, they closed. So they were pushed in, all the doors were sealed or closed. So it meant that no air could come in, no water, no food, nothing. If about 10 of them were here and 9 of them were dead, they will still wait for the last person to die. Then together, all the bodies was removed. The bodies were shown to the rest of the captives. From there, the bodies was thrown into the sea. So this room was a death chamber. Once again, I say, we thank your ancestors. Wherever you are, may your souls rest in peace. Okay, we can come out again, water.
This thing they used to go to fishing.
Yeah, the fishing. I'm just gonna breathe. I'm like angry and sad, and I want to scream and I want to cry, like all at the same time. It's just like too many emotions at the same time. Being in that dungeon, like within 2 minutes I couldn't breathe, and the door wasn't even closed yet. So I can't even imagine.
See how it was.
Yes, it was cruel beyond imagine. Nothing good came out of colonialization, westernization, colonial religion. Nothing came good out of it. Did you know that Ghana produces the most gold deposits in like all of the continent of Africa? It produces the most gold. There's gold everywhere, but it produces the most gold. But guess who had where the biggest where the biggest amount of gold sits? Like, guess who actually owns all of it? England. And there's no gold mines in England. Ghana basically had 5 point something billion dollars of revenue for gold, and only 78 million stayed in Ghana. Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense.
That was 1653. 1658, Denmark fought Sweden. Holland fought Denmark.
I can't even believe that I'm like literally walking on here. Like, it's just blowing my mind. Wow.
until 1883, we didn't have countries in Africa. Did you know that? There were no countries in Africa. There was nothing like Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, South Africa, or Togo. There was nothing like that. Africa was just a continent made up of tribes. So now you say, okay, I'm a Fanti, I'm a Shanti. So you find yourself within a certain geographical area. Yes, but at some point in time, Africa was shared.
The countries that you now know today, the lines that make up African countries weren't drawn up until the late 1800s, like the 1884, 85. And it was drawn up by Europeans because when the slave trade, quote unquote, ended, they decided that, look, instead of fighting each other, we need to share these resources. So England, you take these countries, Portugal, you take these countries, France, you take these countries, and then we'll just share the resources. All right, let's stop fighting. So treaties were made between these quote unquote national powers to basically continue pillaging these African countries till today, because it's still happening today. They're still taking natural resources at the plenty. This tour guide is amazing. He just paid tribute to Ayiti and Ayiti's contribution to ending slavery.
Over 100 to 200 women were kept in each of these rooms. Conditions was worse, of course. You know, if you imagine yourself with over 99 women, 199, you go to toilet right here, you sleep on other people's blood, urine, toilet, you have your menstrual period right here without even having any sanitary pad or any cloth on to sustain the blood, without you getting any clean or proper wash. So you can imagine the diseases, the infection, and the smell you had to deal with. You can imagine the sexual transmitted diseases they contracted from the Europeans as a result of rape and sexual torture for them. So this is what the women here endured in the dungeons. They endured worse on the ships. They endured worse on the plantation farms. So this is what the black woman had to go through. And the African woman did not endure that for 50 or 100 years. Yes, our people endured sex torture for over 400 years. So this is what Europeans subjected Africans to. So how barbaric, how diabolic could you be to your fellow human beings? And also understand that the death of our people in the dungeons and on the ships was of no concern to the profit or to the money they were making. They made more and more and more. Whether we died or not, they still made money. Because they brought in certain strategies to cushion and to sustain this. You know, you've ever heard of insurance? I think some of us have insurance on us. Do you know the genesis of insurance? Life insurance. So life insurance started on our ancestors. Because they realized that the death rate of the ships was higher. So insurance companies came about in Europe around the 17th century. One of them is called Lloyd's of London. So what you do is you sell insurance to ship owners. You buy insurance from them. When you're transporting people, when some of them die, you went back to your insurer. They paid you back for the losses you did. When you go to the United States of America, also there are corporations. You know, they will not tell you this in business school, in Harvard or Yale. You know, they will never tell you that our people around the world, basically, the transatlantic slave trade, run everything, and without that, Western Europe or North America wouldn't have been where they are today financially. You know, the world is run by corporations, not government. Let me tell you, it's the big corporations of the firms that run the world. So to say within the United States, the president don't run anything, the Senate don't run anything, because at the end of the day, these corporations are, giving out money and all that. So within the United States, corporations like Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, Wall Street in New York made so much from the slave trade. Did you also know that Wall Street in New York was the biggest slave auction in North America? So this is how they do things. Okay, so we'll put the plantation. All right, so through this, ladies and gentlemen, all the captives were taken down to the shore. They put them on boats, then they joined the ships. So that's how come we are saying that when you go through that door, do not pretend, but look up again. You find another one that says door or pretend, very symbolic. You know, trust me, it was nothing good. But though they didn't keep them in dungeons, but the conditions were good. See, over there,
Don't do it again. Like that's some of the stuff that I read of what they were doing in Haiti. You know, and basically like the same thing. Like once the indigenous people in the land of Haiti, the Taino, the Arawak, the indigenous folks there, as they started dying off, they brought people from Central and West, like Fon, Dahomey, Ewe, Hausa, Benin, Togo, the Kuba people from Congo. My family, they say we're descended from Congo people. Like they brought them all over. And what was crazy is that the women were actually the warriors, right? A lot of women were the warriors and they didn't know. Yes, a lot of women were the warriors. So they're the ones who actually taught Toussaint Louverture, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. They were all taught by women, the medicine and how to fight. And the women, their names are like Cécile Fatima, Catherine Flon, she's the one who sewn the Haitian flag. She's the one who like brought people together.